What is going on, everyone? No! Why? Well, we'll try that again. You think this is my first rodeo? Been around the bend a time or two. What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology at the Titans action, spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Set. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Shelty The Snake Shelton. I haven't been introducing him properly. If you guys haven't seen it, the reason we call him the Snake is because of his audition for Ninja Warrior. Yes, I don't think he actually went on this show. Maybe he did. I don't know. I can't remember. But there's a really funny audition tape. If someone in the chat wants to link it, I'll watch it after this stream. After this match, it'll be funny. Anyways, Thor vs. Set. Match point for Kimo. Kimo wants to get to those finals, and Shelty is the man in the way. Very, very close first two. There's like this series is a lot closer than the score is indicating here. Both those first two games could have gone either way, and Shelty just did not manage to convert in the end on either of them, and Kimo was just able to hold on. We see Shelty going to try and kill off a pig or two over here. That's the hippopotamus coming in and harassing him away. Nice play from Kimo, but I think this pig may actually lose its life. Yeah, nice play from Shelty actually in order to snipe that one. He's going after all of the pigs. Thank you so much for the tier 1 heedless chicken. Appreciate you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. And now Kimo's just happily converting these again. Did Shelty go for 2 Ulfsark? No 2 Ulfsark. Let's turn these on. He's got his house down already. And he's continuing in this game. So watering hole on this map, it's a little bit hit and miss here for both players. Depends on all the food. So Shelty's got these hippopotamus here, and the reason you go Set on this matchup, generally speaking, is to be aggressive and then hit heroic timings and hit mythic age timings, which really doesn't fit in Kimo's playstyle. So we'll see exactly how he's going to approach this matchup here. But honestly, what I'm expecting to see from Kimo is some sort of fast town center, which is pretty well countered by the way Shelty plays this matchup. So what I want to see though is Kimo to either go Anubis here and show off some Anubite micro, or go for a classical fight similar to how Scardy played. And if we check out the map here, Shelty's gold mine very exposed, very possible for Kimo to make a classical rush happen here. Shelty going to be on the way to the classical age very shortly. Speaking of the devil, almost 400 food. Kimo as well going to be advancing. The temple on the way, looking like he's going for a 4:30 advance time here with one more villager. And yeah, and that'll be it. He does finish off all the hunt in his base first. He does have these hippo up here that he can move to. I think he converted one of them as well. And he's converting the rest in the middle of the map. He can convert the elephant and all these hippopotamus here as well. Maybe getting the town center in the middle of the map here, not going to be a bad play either. So we'll see if that's what he's going to go for. Because it does give him sort of security of these hippopotamus. These elephant can get dragged in. And we'll see. Houses now coming up for Kimo. We don't see his monument just yet. A bit surprised to see that getting delayed so much. Kimo now moving over onto the the mining camp here. Look at these gold villages, kind of a little bit funkily placed, but are 100% efficient. This one has to move just slightly, though these 5 just dump and go is the play here. Villages now moving forward for Kimo. Gonna grab this hippopotamus, do everything else, see how he's gonna feel. I think he's gonna be short gold, right? No, maybe just a little bit. No, he should have it. But I wonder what he's going to try and do with the town center. Because clearly that's what he's going for here. The villagers do finish getting the 400 gold. He's not moving forward just yet. Now he's moving forward. We see the Hersa coming in. There's so many hippopotamus here, but they really don't do that much damage. The Hersa do counter. Actually, tell a lie. That Hersa almost falling here, basically for free. In fact, 1 hippo kill, but that's a free unit there. So big wins for Kimo as he's now moving in with his units. The Hersa coming in. The Elves are going to be spotting what's going on here. Hersa sees the town center going up. The Hersa going to attempt to take down the Wadjet. Nice attempted micro from Kimo to pull back. See the Pharaoh getting pulled off the town center. Going to be trying to take down the Hersa. He definitely should be trying to kill off the Valkyrie though. You can see that unit there is going to get sniped very quickly by the Pharaoh. He can even get the priest to start hitting it as well if he wanted to, but he's more content with grabbing the elephant here. Now we see the hyena chasing all the way in. 1 HP. John Housebane. Oh, he almost gets it as well. Just too long on that animation. The other hyena falls as well. We see the granaries coming up for Kimo moving forward. Going to be eating all that hunt. He does have gazelle on this town center as well. Actually, quite a few gazelles. So he can go 3 town centers here and feel relatively safe with it. The question is going to be, what is Shelty going to do? He's actually throwing up a 3rd longhouse, so he's clearly just wanting to spam out the raiding cavalry and see if he can make some sort of an attack happen. But but Kimo here is getting his double barracks. Double barracks here means spearmen, means slingers, means pain for the raiding cavalry. We see the priest seeing that Valkyrie, going to be pushing him away here with the help of the Pharaoh. And there's the barracks up. Is Kimo going to be building any units out of it? He doesn't really have the food at this time. Going to be deleting that elephant. All these villages that finish this barracks off. Going to be jumping onto that one. The units coming in here. Priest Fairy need to be targeting down that Valkyrie there. But now we see Shelty coming in with his units. We see a Shifting Sands coming in here, bringing a lot of those units into Kimo's base. And the majority of them will be getting out here because there's no box. And he didn't shift into the back of his base. So in fact, all of them get out. Well played by Shelty here. Now we're seeing the hippopotamuses. Is that the word? Hippopotamuses? Hippopotami. The hippopotami getting sniped. Yes, quite. Now Shelty moving back out with those units that were picked off, and these low HP units are going to get sniped as well. So we're seeing the 2nd town center coming up for Shelty. Just happily eating food out the front of his base. These elephant quite juicy. He also has gazelle over here if he needs to a little bit later in the game. Now the Hersa coming in onto this location here. The Pharaoh going to be turning around trying to fight this, but there's no axeman here. Though this Hersa will almost get picked off, and now the pig coming out. No, it's just going to go straight back to Kimo. I wonder if Kimo is going to send that one home. He does send it home. Notices it instantly. Small lion here getting converted. Now we see these raiding cavalry popping out. Do we see an armory just yet? No armory. So Shelty obviously just going to stay classical age for quite some time as he's realizing what Kimo's doing. He's moving back in onto this location. Does have to be very careful about attacking here because that's clearly where that's clearly where Kimo is going to be defending. We see more hippopotamus getting eaten up here. Now the raiders are coming back in. Slingers looking like they're trying to fight, but it's not going to be working too well. Not sure exactly what Shelty's plan is here, because while he's got the better units here with the medium upgrades, I don't think he's quite able to push through villagers plus spearmen. We see medium spearmen coming through as well. Very, very smart there from Kimo to grab that upgrade. Throwing down more barracks, going to be attempting to drag this elephant in as well. Living the dream. Playing it very, very nicely. More spearmen attempting to be built. And now the raiders are swinging around. Looking for something to raid, but I mean, there's not a lot he can hit. He can hit this wood line here. I think he has his forest fire still. He does. And this gold mine is almost expired, so we'll see if we can get any kills with that. And we see the elephant getting pulled in here. Now villagers coming over here, going to be shooting down this elephant now. Nice play from Kimo to have all of these resources to play with. But Shelty now 2 town centers. He's eaten all of his food over here. He's eaten his hippopotamus in the front. He's got throwing axemen now to deal with these spearmen. Shelty now... Oh, sorry, Kimo now looking to push in, but his raiders coming in from Shelty, going to try and get a surround. Not quite able to get a surround there as Shelty pulls back in time. But he's but Kimo in a very, very difficult situation now. He's under attack. There's tons of raiders. Throwing axemen doing a lot of damage, but Kimo has managed to mitigate any damage by pulling into these choke points that he's made with the barracks. Really smart building positioning. Normally you see a lot of players building their buildings right next to each other, but Kimo specifically put these apart from each other so he can use them to block the raiding cavalry from engaging any surface area that's any good. You see a dwarven army coming up here for Shelty. In the most random spot you'll ever see. I'll throw an axeman dealing some damage here as well. Doing their thing. Yes, trying to kill off the spearmen, doing all of that stuff, but it's such a difficult place to attack here. But I guess Shelty is happy to do it because he's kind of almost able to advance to the next age here. Moved up to the top gold mine over here, leaving this gold mine for later. Now Kimo's looking to move forward with these. It looks like... Ooh, that's a spicy attempt from Kimo. If Shelty notices it, he's just going to send everything over here. He's probably going to get a ton of villager kills. We see a 3rd town center coming up for Kimo. Shelty attempting to deny that one, but way too late. All of these gazelle can get eaten now for Kimo if he so chooses. But Shelty is going to be going to the next stage. I probably wouldn't mind seeing forest fire onto this location, though. Imagine if you saved forest fire, it might get said. And now we've got villagers coming over here. Little spot that Kimo is over on this location. And he's just going to come back with his raiding cavalry and hit that one as soon as he possibly can. Now Shelty's getting pushed back into his base. We will be seeing that heroic age very, very shortly. There's Skadi on the way coming through. Kimo very far away from the heroic age himself. So see what he's going to be able to do here. The villagers for Shelty getting pulled back. Looking to move into the main base here to just eat those gazelle, and now the raiders coming in going to start hitting these villages, and the army of Kimo over here getting targeted down. The Valkyrie getting targeted by that Pharaoh. He needs to pull back if he wants to keep his units alive. And he's going to actually lose quite a few while he's running, but now the raiders killing a lot of these villages while this is all going on. Really smart fight here for Shelty, because those spearmen are all distracted now. The throwing axe are coming in, trying to snipe down this location. We do see a forest fire coming in, but the reaction from Kimo too good. He does get 2 villager kills here as he's chasing the villagers away. Yeah, Kimo in a decent position here, though he is going to have to deal with Frost. And Frost is a big, big issue for the set player here with these weak units here. Are we going to see that Frost coming down? These raiding cavalry getting sniped over here. Shelty sitting at 88 population now. In a lot of pain. I I'm not sure exactly how Shelty's going to be able to rebuild all these units in time, because if Kimo can just keep the pressure on now, he can keep dealing tons of damage. These villagers moving randomly over onto the wood situation here. Instead of going onto this location, I guess he's staying away from the gold mine. And that's an unlikely forest for Kimo to check and raid. Now, Shelty pulling back into his base as he realizes there's just too many units here for him to fight at the time being. The slingers are just going to keep popping in here, causing havoc to the throwing axemen. Shelty needs to be building more units, and we do see a frost getting cast here. That's going to catch every single one of these units. There's 3 that are going to retreat back. A couple of priests not in that frost. So now, will Shelty get this town center up in time? That's what he's going for. He doesn't quite have the gold. How are the economic upgrades looking? He's only got pickaxe. He's moving up onto this location. The frost giants and the raiding cavalry doing a lot of damage. We see the villagers coming over onto this location now, going to attempt to deny this town center here. We'll see if Shelty's going to react or not. See the raiders trying to take down the priest here. We see another longhouse coming up. The spearman does get sniped as well. And these throwing axemen in the back are getting sniped by the slingers. Shelty's economy very, very strong. He is actually going to get Rhyme as well to make these frost giants even stronger. And at this point, Kimo not being heroic age is really, really hurting him, because no heroic age means no Nephthys, which means no funeral rites, which means that these Thrum frost giants are going to be absolutely brutal to deal with. As he's pushing forward now, you can see the priest starting to deal damage to this frost giant, and they just tickle him, absolutely tickle him. The units here for Kimo are all getting absolutely massacred by the frost giants in this game. Really, really nice play from Shelty. He's starting to get these longhouses up. He's going to actually spam out some Ulfsark here as well. Moving away from those raiding cavalry for the time being. There is the Pharaoh coming in. He is one of the more important units to come in and deal with this. The raiding cavalry attempting to chase around here, but nice micro from Kimo to keep that alive. Now the Ulfsark's flooding in here. Look at these frost giants. They just keep using their special ability to just destroy all of these Egyptian units. Kimo's population dropping to 125, where Shelty's is sitting at a steady 130 this entire fight, and Kimo has to retreat back. He has to start thinking about making some axemen, which he is going to make, and that's going to allow Shelty to grab this town center and be in a fantastic position here. Kimo has to rebuild his entire army basically before he can go to the next stage, and Shelty doesn't even care. He's just going to continue pushing forward with these frost giants and the throwing axemen and everything else. So random slingers coming over here and hurting Shelty. It is looking like Shelty's frost giants will start to get cleaned up by all the priests that Kimo has made. It's looking like every single time he kills them off, there's just more coming, and Shelty's just getting so much favor from this as well. This is just not a good fight. Not good fights here for Kimo. Still not getting this town center up though. And Shelty is just happily just continuously pushing in here though. And he is sitting at full population. Now the town center is coming up. That's going to be huge for Shelty. And these fights are just very, very good for him, but he has sort of run out of the frost giants. He's still got 41 favor in the bank, getting quarry so he can get out more of those frost giants. Wouldn't be a bad idea to pull off this wood line and come over onto the gold just to get more units out. You can see the farms are kind of just completely spammed up for Shelty. He doesn't have his winter harvest here, which is a must-grab technology. We do see the villagers coming in trying to deny this town center, but the town center should go up. It is struggling to, and there it goes. And that's going to be 4 town centers for Shelty against the 3 town centers for Shelty against the 3 town centers for Kimo, and Kimo has to back out yet again. And now these units are falling for Kimo. Shelty probably needs to go away from the Ulfsark again and go back into his raiding cavalry. Are we going to see that at any point? Not just yet. It's because the axemen are starting to come through and they're going to start trading a lot better. Kimo is just continuously taking these fights. This is a very un-Kimo-like. Normally he'll just retreat back, sit under the town center and be okay. Now more Ulfsark just flooding in for Shelty, as it's looking like he's managed to really set Kimo back. Kimo's got full barracks, and even with the low train time on those units, it's just not enough here so far. Shelty allowing Kimo a little bit of breathing room here, but Shelty's about to click up to the next age. Does he have a market though? I don't see it. There is a market, so he can click up, and he is going through Balder. Will this be the first Ragnarok that is going to be able to actually take a win for Shelty, or no? He's definitely in a winning position here with the Ragnarok. We're seeing bronze mail, or sorry, without the Ragnarok. Just needs to think about getting some more of those raiding cavalry out at this point. At 89 villagers for Shelty. Sekhmet is coming through for Kimo now. Kimo choosing to go Sekhmet instead of Nephthys on the fact that he needs to have a secured town center. He's going to attempt to hold this town center against a 90 villager Ragnarok, or almost 90 villager Ragnarok here. It's like he's also not building villages, but he's getting out some trade as well. How many ox caravans? He's got 3 of them. Now we see hand axe, shaft mine coming through for Kimo. As Shelty just chilling, waiting, going to make some portable rams. I love this for Shelty, but no fortified town centers. A little bit funny, because he's got all the economy that he needs. He's going to push through now to take down some of these barracks. There's the Sekhmet coming through. Will we see the citadel here? Excuse me, here or in the back base here? He does have a scarab, and what you want to do with the scarab in this situation is send it off to the side, move it through and mow down all the houses and cause chaos in Shelty's base. Meanwhile, we're just seeing, I was going to say we're seeing Shelty take his time with the Ragnarok, but not anymore. 332 population. 332 population Ragnarok here for Shelty, with 4 ox caravans going, with a pretty crappy trade route, but a trade route nonetheless. Shelty breaks down 1 barracks, continues to push in here. The axemen are in the back here. We see more rag heroes flooding in. How are the armory upgrades looking for Shelty? He's got nearly full bronze. Fortified town centers almost up for Shelty as well. We're seeing those priests and pharaoh dealing with the frost giants very quickly. We see the fortified town centers here coming in. Do we see that citadel? It is in. I do wonder, if you cast Citadel Center, does it rebuild the town center completely? Like, if it's at 1 HP and I cast Citadel Center, does this go back up to like 5,000 HP or not? Because that could have been a way to hold here for a little bit longer. I see the town center falling. Apparently the answer is no to that question. Now we got the second town center going to be targeted. There is all gold in the top side of the map here. And we see those rag heroes coming in, going to start taking down this fortified town center here. Mercenary cavalry popping out of here to defend. And Shelty's just cleaning everything up. He's still got another 60, 70 population before he needs to start rebuilding his army. His villages here can even grab this town center if he so chooses. It's like he's trying to move into the home base here. This is a bit of a mistake. Fortified town centers does a lot more damage than you'd think, because it's shooting 3 arrows at 24 damage a second. So it's quite a lot. So we'll see how we'll see if the push in here is going to be enough. You see the rag heroes targeting down the town center first. Mercenary cavalry getting spammed out here. No pharaoh here for Kimo just yet. We're just seeing a lot of villagers falling for Kimo, down to 39. 38 villagers, no farms remaining means no axemen to really get built, and Kimo does decide to tap out in the 22nd minute mark of this game. Shelty showing finally the power of Norse, completely destroying Kimo's two-town center. Egyptian attempt here, segment not enough to hold on, and that is the game there. Kimo took a lot of really bad fights. Not getting to the heroic age fast enough to get funeral rites was definitely a big downfall here from Kimo. Those frost giants just got so much value with Rhyme as well, and there was just nothing that Kimo could do in that position there. And Shelty does win his first game in this series. Move on to game number 4 very shortly. If you guys are enjoying these games, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.